Very good afternoon and welcome to ABC Sports coverage of the 1986 Main Nicholas Surf Classic from Clifton Beach. Well, we can't promise sunshine, but we can most importantly promise surf for this afternoon's big coverage of the Carnival. Of course, all athletes will be toning their muscles up for the state titles at Carlton Beach next Saturday, and more importantly, in the hope that they can represent Tasmania in the national titles to be held in South Australia starting on the 21st of March. We've had lots of action this morning and you'll see lots of action this afternoon. Plenty of thrills and, more importantly, lots of spills. The most important event is the Open Ironman competition, and that gets underway in a few minutes' time. Our commentators this afternoon, Peter G and Steve Gray.
And I don't know what it is, Steve, but I think you're a bad luck charm for this annual television coverage. Since we've got you as a commentator, we've had weather like this both years, though this year we're going to get a full hour and a half in, aren't we?
I feel sure we will, Peter. I agree with you. Last year, of course, was I think we've got blown off the beach, actually. In fact, this morning I thought the same thing was going to happen. I only jumped in the car and went back home, but conditions are not good, of course. The surf is big. We've seen plenty of spills this morning, which we'll see later on, but the rain and squalls have been hitting us now and again. In fact, there's another one just coming in now, but we should see plenty of action. The Ironman is due to start very shortly. They're in the starters, or just getting there, having a talk, and they'll soon be getting into the water, so it shouldn't be too long before we see a start in this event.
I don't look too keen, and I don't blame them. I think we're probably entrants in the Ironman as well, perched up here on the scaffold, commentating on it all, but once they get out there, the surf just could tell the tale, because it's been so close in all the real surf life-saving events throughout the season so far, and this Ironman is by no means cut and dried going into today's race. We've got the reigning Ironman champion, Deacon Spicer, in action, Dean Waldhauser. They are probably the two favourites to fight it out.
Yeah, well, in these conditions, Peter, I think a dark horse would have to be Don Marsh. He's an ex-state champion Ironman. Also, he was Great Britain Ironman champion when he was in England for 3 years. And he could be a dark horse. He knows this beach pretty well. He's been training down here for many years now, and he could be a dark horse there, I think. Although, you know, Spicer, he'll be round. Waldhauser, last week we saw Waldhauser beat Deacon Spicer at Devonport. Conditions were, of course, flat. But Waldhauser will be certainly up there with them.
Deacon Spicer is not renowned for his ability in the surf, but he has been working on that up in Sydney during the season. Yes,
he went to North Cronulla, the Australia Day long weekend. They have 3 big carnivals up there, finishing up with the Freshwater Carnival on Monday, over the long weekend. And he certainly performed well up there.
Well, they're in the starters' hands. This is Deacon Spicer closest to us, and away they go. The Open Ironman underway, the sprint to the water, and the swim is the first leg. The 3-legged event, the swim, the ski, and then the board, and Spicer using those legs to get out there through the surf, and they virtually all go in at the one wave.
Weighted very well there, Peter. Deacon, Spicer would really be wanting to win this one and to prove his critics wrong. He has been training in surf conditions, as we've just said, and he would certainly want to win this one. Waldhauser in there behind him, and Dean would certainly be trying to stick with Spicer in the swimming league.
We've got some fairly big waves coming in now. This will test their ability to get through them. They do it beautifully, both Spicer and Waldhauser. Spicer seems to have stolen a little bit of march on Dean Waldhauser. Swimming very strongly is Deacon Spicer. Waldhauser now getting threatened for a second place by another birdie competitor by the look of it.
That would be Craig Sweeney. Peter, Craig Sweeney, he's been finishing about second and third during the year also. He's not one that we should forget about, because he'll certainly be there at the finish.
So a 100-metre swim to start things off out there to the boys. 100 out, 100 back.
Yep. I think that once they get round the boys, you'll see the surfing ability of some of these members, such as Don Marsh, and I noticed Curtis Pizzolatto there, also from Carlton. He's in there from Carlton Park also, but you can see the distance that Spicer has opened up in the first leg. There's still a long way to go, and this race is by no means over yet.
So Waldhauser seemed to be perhaps just conserving himself a little bit, and he's made up some ground on Spicer as they come out to the boys. A A lead of about 3 or 4 body lengths held by Deacon Spicer, the state Ironman champion, as they hit the boys. Waldhausen nearly takes one with him.
Yeah, there's an art of going around the boys. The ropes, of course, do drag out a lot, and you have to more or less screw your body across them and round as you go around the buoy. It's otherwise you could get tangled up, but you can see them going around now.
Like a Carlton competitor, perhaps in 3rd place there. As we see,
possibly would be Don Marsh, I would imagine. Now here's a good shot of these.
Just lost them behind that wave. It's the size of the surf they're contending with. Down in the trough there at Spicer, who seems to have done a little bit better on that first wave. And Don Marsh in 3rd place. Interesting to see if he can pick one up out the back there and come through and threaten these 2 leaders. But it seems to be between Spicer and Waldhausen at this stage.
Waldhausen is swimming very strongly, actually. He's certainly improved his swimming, and which of course he's an ex-state champion also, Dean Waldhausen. He won the event 2 years ago as a junior, which was a great feat. He's just what he was doing there, he's just turned on his back to see if there was any assistance coming in the form of a wave, but it looks like he might have to swim all the way back. He's just caught a wave now, so what a great race this is going to be. They'll certainly be trying to hang on to it as long as they can, because they'll get the advantage.
No slide blows under the wave there as they came together.
No, that doesn't happen.
It's not water polo. Well,
there's a few little tricks that happen, but
you're not giving away any secrets.
No, can't give those secrets away. They're coming up towards the beach now. Spicer's just stopped swimming there. He'll be looking for, as you can see him surfing the white water in. As you can see, he's up, running out of the water now, and he'll be looking to get a good break here on the next leg, which of course is a ski leg.
So only the first leg completed for our leaders. Looks like Don Marsh coming in 3rd at this stage. Spicer around, Waldhausen around. Now their helpers are holding the skis, waiting for them just in the surf there.
Yes, the handlers are there just to hold the ski. They can't assist in any way. It's just a matter of holding the ski and the paddle. And then they have to move out of the way, because they can't afford to give any assistance to these paddlers at all.
So it's neck and neck between Spicer and Waldhausen.
Now there goes Spicer. He's fallen off his ski there. Now if Waldhausen can get a break here, he could really get a really good break if he can get out through the surf. And it doesn't look like there's much surf there at the moment. Spicer's still having problems. Looks like it's Don Marsh of Carlton Park now who's moved into 2nd place. Spicer trying to get his ski going again, so that's a bad mistake there by Spicer.
So this has seen Waldhausen kick out to about a 50-metre lead now over Spicer from Marsh. Carlton Park also in 4th place, and Burney in 5th. Just the 5 competitors in this open Ironman, the event to be followed by the junior Ironman. So that's the break. You can see from the bluff just how that mishap in the surf has penalised Deacon Spicer, and Waldhausen would be looking to really press home this advantage as he nears the boys about 200 metres out from the beach. A different set to the ones that they swam around.
Yeah, he's got a good lead now, Peter. He'll be looking over his shoulder, and once he gets around that apex buoy, he'll be looking for some sort of wave or a form of wave to bring him back to the beach, and he can really make this gap widen if he gets around the buoy and picks up a wave. There he goes round now, just looking across behind him to see where his the next competitor is, and he should be coming in soon. But there he goes now. Spicer just putting on he's closed the gap somewhat on Waldhausen there.
He's really given it everything in that paddle out to the boys, remembering that they've got a board leg to come. Back to the beach they come with Deacon Spicer out after Dean Waldhausen, our leader. The rain has stopped here as As Waldhauser, now in the weak sunshine, heads back to the beach.
Very good competitor, Dean. He's been around. He's come up through the ranks, through the nippers, the junior division of the surf lifesaving movement, and he's certainly been a great competitor. Only young. Of course, Dean represented Australia in kayaking too after the Australian titles last year. In fact, he won quite a few events at the world titles, and certainly made a big impression at the kayaking championships.
Spicer's got a bit of a help from a wave there. There wasn't too much surf for Dean Waldhauser as he came in. Here's Spicer making up great ground on him. But Spicer was already on the beach.
Waldhauser on the beach.
Rather, yes, Spicer has had a bit of trouble back behind him.
We'll run down the beach now, pick up his board, drag it into the water. And
he's now on the beach as well as Waldhauser heads out with the board.
The long legs of Waldhauser there, as you saw before, and he's pushing the board out. There goes Spicer now, he's picked up his board. He'll be looking for some way or another to try and pick this lead back, and I think that barring no accidents, I'm sure that it's going to find it very hard to pick Waldhauser back here. As we said before, Waldhauser beat Spicer last week at Devonport, and that was his first defeat of the season. Actually, Spicer had taken on all comers, and up until last week, he was winning all the Ironman events.
Oh, a big set coming through now. Down goes Waldhauser. He's kept hold of the board.
Yes, Waldhauser didn't fall off there. What he's doing there is he's turning over and using his body as an anchor on the board. That way he's not getting knocked back as much as if you try and go through it. There he goes again. Now he's battling to get out through this break. Some big waves coming through. Looks like there could be a bit of a break now, so he'll certainly be going as hard as he can to get across into the green water. So the long arms and the action there of Dean. That's a good shot of Dean as he's going out now. Chin right down to the board. And it's amazing actually, Peter, what that going through a big set like that can do. It can certainly, if you have any wind left, it can certainly knock the wind out of you.
Very energy sapping, I think, and they've had 3 big ones to negotiate. They've done that safely now, but it's still Waldhauser with fairly good break over Spicer, about 30 metres. Spicer did make up a little bit coming back to the beach in the ski leg. The third paddle you see is Don Marsh, a similar distance back to him as Waldhauser goes around the buoy. So it's the veteran Don Marsh with chin down and backside up as he heads out in third place as Spicer goes around in second.
Yeah, well, Don Marsh, he's been around for many years, Don, and he certainly does a lot of training. He lives down this way, and he's always in the water. In fact, he just about lives in the water. He's surfing or board paddling, but he's been a great competitor, Don. There's a good shot there of Dean Waldhauser again, probably about halfway back into the beach. And he'd be looking, just had a quick look over his shoulder to see how close Spicer was, but at this stage I don't think he has got a little problem. There he goes trying to pick up a wave there. Unfortunately he slipped off the back of it. Now Spicer's going for the wave now behind Waldhauser, but unfortunately he's gone off it.
That may have been Deacon Spicer's last chance to make ground on Waldhauser.
Well, as we can see now, that was his last chance, because unless Dean falls off his board here, he's got this event won. It'll be a great win, because I think he was out to prove a point that last week's win in flat conditions at Devonport wasn't a fluke, and he's coming right at the right end of the season.
He's certainly shown superior skills in the surf. A flawless performance from Dean Waldhauser as he comes up. He'll turn right on the beach and head for the finishing line between the green flags. Fine performance from Dean Waldhauser, a commanding victory and well appreciated by the crowd. It's Waldhauser-Burney first in the Open Ironman, the Main Nicholas Surf Classic. And Marsh has gone through Deacon Spicer back in the water as well. Spicer's had heaps of trouble on the board getting to the shore.
Yes, well, I don't know what happened there, but certainly Spicer did fall off his board, and this has allowed Don Marsh to come through. And
this will be a popular second place.
Certainly will. Very popular competitor, Don. Certainly put a lot into surf life-saving, and he's got his good rewards during the years.
So Spicer, the surf perhaps is sounding a little wanting again.
Yeah, Deacon has some. He has some bad luck in surf. It wouldn't be experience. He's been around too long for not to have the experience by now. But he just seems to. I really don't know. He just gets tied up in the surf conditions. But he'll certainly be back next week at Carlton for the state titles.
So Waldhauser, Marsh and Spicer in the men's Open Ironman. And let's hear Dean Waldhauser with Peter Walsh.
Well done, Dean. Nice and strong. You look good all the way.
Yes. I'm a bit tired after that deal I've raced, just having it straight away, and it's pretty cold getting in there, but it's all right now.
Where does the veggie come from?
When I was a cadet, I couldn't hold my ski on the shore one day, and a guy in the club told me I needed to eat a bit more Vegemite. It's just stuck from there.
Are you going to keep improving?
Well, I hope so.
Well, what's on the agenda for you in 86?
We're going to the national titles, sprint kayak titles and surf titles, and being a first-year senior, I'm just going to see how I go, play around for a while.
Of the three types involved in the Ironman, what's your weakness?
My board paddling. I'm working now, I just don't have enough time to paddle the board of a lunchtime, whereas I was doing that when I was at school. But it lets me down a bit, just depends on what the draw's like. If it's early in the piece, I'm really let down badly with it.
Are you getting enough tough competition in Tasmania?
Oh, for sure, there's plenty of top competitors here. We're up with the rest of Australia, so there's plenty of competition.
Congratulations on your win.
Thank you.
So Dean Waldhauser, I like the pun, got onto Vegemite and it's stuck since then. And it's done him good. He's taken out the Open Ironman, the CPAC Open Ironman at this Main Nicholas Surf Classic. Burney first with Don Marsh, Carlton Park coming into second, and Deacon Spicer from Devonport third. So that's the opening event in the Main Nicholas Surf Classic for 86, and hopefully that's got rid of the rain as well. The sun's shining down brightly now at Clifton Beach as we're ready to get underway. It's the open boat, and this is the first race in the three-race series, and this is going to be a tremendous battle between the boat crews that have been battling out all year. That's the Penguin crew, Burney, and the crew from Somerset, who are right back to their best.
Yes, Peter, we've seen some great racing here right throughout the season. These crews are of national standard. Burney last year just missing out narrowly on a gold medal. There's the Burney boat swept by Clive Thirlby, very experienced in the surf, Clive, and no doubt he'll be certainly looking for a win here today. There hasn't been much between Somerset and Burney all year. In fact, it's 2-1, 2 to Burney, 1 to Somerset.
Somerset, just a little bit of trouble there on the first wave as we see the Junior Ironman is underway. So the Ironman events following on one after the other, and they're going out into the surf, and there's perhaps not quite as big a sets coming through as for the senior event. So this is going to be a tough swim and a very evenly contested race, this junior Ironman.
Yes, actually, Peter, last week, at Devonport, we saw a great race between Jamie Rose of Ulverston and Tim Price of Burney. Tim, of course, is making a name for himself in the triathlons currently, and we saw a dead heat actually last week at Devonport between those two, Tim Price and Jamie Rose.
It looks like it might be Tim Price who has the lead at this stage.
No, I think that could be Jamie Rose who'd be leading at this stage.
Certainly a great battle in the swim. It's the first leg of the junior Ironman as they head out towards the boys. Let's go back to the open boat, and there's some problems for Somerset. Oh, there's the sweep. Jim Woodhouse, a bit more like a wood duck there as he took the big swallow dive.
He certainly went up there. They've copped a lot of water in the boat, and they've got a few problems there. I think Jim Woodhouse, back after 4 years, had a very bad car accident on the northwest coast, and he's back sweeping this crew, and certainly got them rowing very well. But they've got quite a lot of water in the boat. No doubt the pump, the little portable pump in that boat, will be working overtime to try and remove that water.
So that's given Bernie a break. They've kicked out about 5 or 6 boat legs ahead of Penguin, who are here on the right of your screen. It's Bernie in their yellow boat heading out towards the boys.
Good shot there of Bernie. You're looking at these boat crews, as I said before. They are of national standard, and Bernie and Somerset will certainly be looking at making it through to the finals at Moana in March.
So in the junior Ironman, they're around the boys and heading back to the beach, and there's some fine body surfing there. Pick up who that is as they come back in towards the beach. And I think it might have been Rose that has kicked out in front there.
Just trying to pick them up for you. It's very hard. Looks like it could be... yes, looks like it's Jamie Rose of Ulverston who's up out of the water. He's got a very good swim there by Jamie.
So from being so close when they neared the boys, Rose has done a fabulous job there around and then into the beach to open up a big break.
Yes, good surfing there by Jamie. He wouldn't have had been in these conditions many times before, and that was an excellent bit of surfing, body surfing there by Jamie. He's certainly opened up a good break now. He's just jumping on his ski. There's his handler, passes the ski to him. Go back to looks like a Clifton Beach competitor. There's a shot there of Rose. He's going out. He has to try and manoeuvre his ski through this white water. Just having a quick look over his shoulder to see that where his next competitor is. But he shouldn't be doing that at this stage. He should be just looking straight out and getting out behind the white water into the green water, and then he maybe can have a quick look.
So Rose just gone through the first wave. There's a few heading towards him, but nothing really that should worry him too much. Through that successfully, and no, he's not. He's gone over the back of it.
He could have a few problems here because if any more, he's lost his paddle. You can see him paddling back up to retrieve his paddle. He's got the ski moving again now. He's lucky there because if there had been a few big sets coming through there, he could have found himself in all sorts of strife.
Seemed to negotiate it okay, and fall off after he'd done the hard work. So this has allowed the pursuers to really move up on him. Price, it looks like, in third place there.
That's a Somerset paddler. It's very hard to pick them up when they've got their backs to you. We'll certainly pick him up as he comes when they round the boys. Clifton Beach paddler there, he'd be paddling in second place.
And it is Rose who leads, trying to regain that lost ground. Things starting to bunch up again in the junior Ironman. After Rose really streeted them in that swim leg. So they've got half the ski paddle to go, then it's the board paddle. And in the boat race, the leaders heading back in towards the beach. And there's Bernie. What a lead they've pulled out.
Great, it's a good shot of the Carlton Park crew going around the boys. Great chop there of the Clifton Beach crew.
That's what it feels like to be in one of the boats.
Great camera work there. The camera, of course, in the inshore rescue boat, commonly known as the rubber duckies, but Bernie coming back in now, and they'll be coming to the break area. Those could be a bit of excitement as they come back through into these waves.
That's
So
Bernie
that's Bernie
on the left. Ulverston would be over there on the right. So certainly the length of the beach between the two leaders. Somerset have had some trouble. Obviously, we saw them coming through the waves there, and they seem to have called it a day. I don't know if there was some trouble there to Jim Woodhouse.
Well, as we saw, he was thrown out of the boat. Now back to the junior Ironman, and we've got a ski paddler there who has lost his ski.
And the ski's getting a free ride back to the beach. Paddler's not on it. So it's a Bernie paddler who has taken over the lead.
Yes, it could be Spinks, I think. Yes, Spinks from Bernie. He's won this event before, and he's used his surf knowledge here. It looks like that could be that ski that was following Anthony Spinks in there. Could have been the one of Rose.
Yes, it is. Rose is back in the surf.
Rose is in the surf. Well, that's bad luck for Jamie Rose. He had a good lead there, and he's fallen off his ski at a pretty vital point there. Spinks would be there's a second competitor there.
So it's Bernie 1-2, and Rose is now into third place after a mishap in the surf. So the surf wasn't that large at that stage, but he's been caught out on the ski, both going out and coming back. Rose back into third place. That's how unpredictable the Ironman is.
Well, it certainly is. It's a race that has captured really the imagination of the Australian public. Of course, since Grant Kenny stormed onto the scene, winning both the junior and senior Ironman within 10 minutes of each other at Maroochydore. I was lucky enough to witness that, and it was something that possibly we'll never see again. It was a great moment to see him take those two events out, and it certainly captured the imagination, as I've just said, this Ironman event. Because the lead can change so many times, as we've seen today. It's an event that you can be leading 1 minute and coming last the next, especially in conditions as we've got down here at Clifton today. Still Spinks, who's paddling very well there in front. He's coming up to the buoys now. As he goes past the swimming buoys, he'd have another 50 yards to go before he gets to his turning buoy. And no doubt he'll be looking at getting around that buoy and trying to get some assistance on the way back in. Conditions, the wind swung back round, so we haven't got wind coming straight in on us now. It's sort of been chopping and changing from south to southwest all day. There goes Anthony Spinks now up rounding his buoy. You might see the next competitor, which I think could be his teammate there, possibly either Fagan or Price. I don't think it's Price. It doesn't look big enough for Tim Price, but there goes Spinks now rounding that buoy. Just has a quick look over his shoulder to see where Price is.
And you'll see that Rose not even in shot, so it's really come to grief. So it's the two Bernie competitors that are going to be fighting out this junior Ironman. Another 100 metres to go as they pass the swimming buoys, and it's starting to tell. You can almost feel it from up here as Spinks looking hopefully back for some waves. There's not too many there, and it's just all head down from his teammate trying to bridge the gap. Spinks If he can hold it, looks like he's got the junior Ironman at this stage. If a wave comes up the back, he could be in a bit of trouble. Here comes one.
Right, now we look behind him, and it looks like it could be his teammate there trying to get onto it. Couldn't quite grab it. Spinks lays down on his board. All he has to do is hang onto his board. He wasn't going to kneel on it, so he just laid down. As you can see, he's having a breather now. Just gives his another little couple of paddles there just to stay on it as the wave doubled up. He'll be just having a bit of a breather ready for the run up the beach.
So Anthony Spinks, he's done it now. If he doesn't fall into a hole, he'll get there. So Anthony Spinks, the junior Ironman for 1986, the main Nicholas Surf Classic, after a pretty tough race. And he's certainly shown great skills. He's just directed between the flags, so Spinks first.
Great win there.
A little bit to come on, and there he comes. But it is the junior Ironman Anthony Spinks has taken out this.
Looks like it could be Price in there second. We'd have to wait for the confirmation on that. I just can't quite.
People watching this on the northwest coast, I should imagine also.
So
But a good victory there.
Bernie first and second. Some valuable points for them in the overall pennant placings, with Bernie leading at this stage from last year's champions Ulverston.
Yes, that's right, Peter. They've had some great battles over the year. And this is certainly going to be a pretty close carnival as far as points go.
So across the line now, our early race leader, Jamie Rose. So he's relegated to third, the Ulverston Junior Ironman, as we go down to the beach, and Peter Walsh, who's with the Junior Ironman.
Well done, Anthony. A little bit of luck involved. You found yourself in third spot, and Jamie Rose getting some strife, but I suppose you have to take advantage of that luck.
Yeah, well, I knew Jamie's a better swimmer than I am. I knew I'd have to try and make up ground on him in the ski, and luckily I caught a nice wave out the back, which brought me up with him, luckily, and he fell off. And
well, how strong is surfing up in Burnie, in the north of the state?
What do you mean?
Well, is it the competition good up there?
Oh yes, very good, very good. Tim Price, it's hard competition.
Are you getting enough competition?
Oh yes, definitely.
Well, is there room for improvement in your game? Do you enjoy the Ironman competition?
Yeah, that's great. It's the main thing of the day for me. And the competition's good with it.
Well, good luck for the future.
Okay, thanks a lot.
Anthony Spinks, the junior Ironman, Rubbish Rid Open Boat number 1, coming to its conclusion.
Well, as you can see, the gap there between Bernie, there's Bernie now coming in. They're coming to the wave area now. They'll try and push themselves onto this wave. Clive Thirlby there, a very experienced sweep. He's standing on the back and holding the boat upright. And there you're looking at a great crew in Bernie as they they'll take this race out quite easily, actually. Somerset, something must have happened to Somerset. We saw them at the start of Jim Woodhouse falling out of the boat. But a great shot there of Bernie coming across. They'll be just coming into the flagged area now. And a great victory in the first boat race.
There they go over. Oh, behind them though, there's a few in trouble.
There's the Penguin crew showing you how it's done. And no doubt
that's a pretty wet red grasshopper.
Jerry Owens, the sweeping Penguin.
Bernie, no problems though. They're safely up on the beach.
Yeah, great victory by Bernie. Comes Ulverston now. They're coming to the break. So they might have rode themselves out of trouble there.
So Ulverston would come in second, and there's Somerset, and you can see the sweep Jim Woodhouse with his ankle propped up there. I hope he hasn't aggravated that injury from the car accident a few years ago. A real shame for Somerset there. They'd come right back into things this year as we see Clifton in heaps of problems.
There's Clifton and the DJ Mitsubishi boat there, and they're having quite a wild time, and that's 3 boats down, been swamped, so that's 2 have finished and 3 have swamped. Now, I really don't know what happened out there with Somerset, and it looked like Jim Woodhouse did have his ankle up. I hope there's nothing serious, because they're really peaking at the right time of the year, Somerset, and if anything's happened to the sweep, well, it's certainly going to put their training back for the national titles.
This would be Carlton Park coming to the beach, and they're doing it the right way up, so they'll come across in 3rd place.
Carlton Park coming there.
Carlton, who've improved a lot this year in the boat section, but really with Somerset out of the way, Burnie were untouchable in that heat.
Well, they've just asked for the patrol to go along and just check out some of the boat rowers to make sure they're okay. I'm sure there's no problems, because the first thing they do is, when they swamp a surf boat, the first thing you do is count and make sure you've got 5 heads above water. If you haven't, you've got a few problems, but that's the first thing you do.
Well, I can only see 3 there, but the other 2,
they'd be right.
They're okay. There it is, Rubbish Root Open Boat number 1. Remembering that there are 3 races, and the team that takes out, of course, 2 of them is the winner on the day, and Burnie have started off in fine style from Ulverston and Carlton Park. Plenty of thrills and spills in the first race of the series to come, and I'm sure that they'll follow suit. As we see the teams lining up for perhaps the traditional symbol of surf lifesaving in Australia, and that's the march past. As we see Jim Woodhouse going up the beach on a stretcher, so that's not something that we like to see at surf lifesaving carnivals. That's
bad news, actually. I hope there's nothing too much wrong with him. I think he would have done that if it's his leg or his ankle. I'm sure he would have done that when he fell out of the boat. As we saw, he probably got his foot caught or in the foot strap. But
well, if you're going to do something like that, you might as well make it spectacular, and he certainly did as he leapt
did.
into the air. Well, let's look at the winning sides of things. Well-known face to ABC television viewers of the May Nicholas Surf Classic, and that's Clive Thirlby, the sweep of the Burnie crew, talking to Peter Walsh.
Well done, Clive. Conditions look pretty tough out there. Just how bad are they?
I think we was pretty lucky we got it for the break, where Somerset got smashed in this end. I've heard that the sweep just broke their leg. We had a pretty good run on the way home. We was pretty pleased. We didn't get any big swells like some of the crews got swamped, but that's the luck of the draw, isn't it?
You've got yourself a pretty polished unit. The Burnie boys look good.
We're going well now. We was a bit, beginning of the season we had a few problems with injuries, and one guy was away for a fortnight, but the last 3 weeks have been training together very solid, and we're going on very well now.
Busy afternoon for you?
Busy day today. I've got 2 crews to sweep. I've got about 7 races, I think, today. Looking forward to it as well.
Good luck for the rest of the afternoon.
Thanks very much, Peter.
Clive Thirlby's a happy man, and happy news is that Jim Woodhouse not as badly injured as we first thought, or as Clive thought. The ankle they thought may have been broken, but apparently it's okay. So he won't be taking any further part today, the sweep of the Somerset crew, but he's okay and should be competing later on in the season as the march past is underway. Very colourful sight as they come down the beach. And of course it's just not all colour. There's points to be gained here.
Certainly is. It's a big event. Of course, nationally we have the famous Bundaberg March Past team, and it's a big event. It's a colourful event, and it's one of the events at any surf carnival that really the public like to see. Music going, and the top lifesavers in the state marching, parading in front of everybody.
Who would be the favoured teams to take out the march past at this carnival?
Well, Burnie have always been marching. They've been marching very well this year. They've won 2 march past this year, and also Penguin. Penguin, good winners in the march past at Devonport last week. So
they're being awarded points. What features are judges looking for?
Well, judges are looking for judges are spread out along the beach, and different sections of the beach. They're marked for the back line is marked for arm swing and also being in line. The reel has to be kept straight. The line, which the beltman has to has to have the line tight between the beltman and the reel. So there's a lot of points. The knees have to come up a certain amount. There's quite a lot of points that they're looking for.
A bit of concentration involved.
Oh my word! It does take a lot of concentration. Some of these clubs, of course, have marched here at Clifton before, with the national titles being held here 3 times. I think 1969, 1976 and 1983 we had the national titles here at Clifton Beach. There's a good shot there of Wayne Manson of Penguin there in the blue Guernseys. Wayne had a very nasty accident last year, fell off a roof in Queenstown and shattered just about every bone on the left side of his body. It's good to see him back. He's back 12 months later. He's rowing in Penguin's A boat.
So we'll see him in action a little later on. Let's go to the open boat number 2 as the march past well and surely underway. That'll be a while before we get a winner there. They're ready for the second race in the Rubbish Rid Open boat and a reduced field, so we won't be seeing Somerset.
Looks like Clifton Beach are out of it too. I thought I saw their boat there. So it looks like we have Bernie on the right hand of the screen there. On the left hand side we'd have
Ulverston.
Yes, Ulverston in their boat. Talking about Carlton Park before, they've been rowing very well. They've just bought themselves a new fiberglass surf boat.
And Bernie's is a relatively new boat too. You may have seen the advertising on the front for 3BO, which is a Bendigo radio station. What are they doing plugging a Victorian?
I really don't know.
I know. I was feeding you. That's the boat that they won.
That's right.
On the river.
It's a boat they won in the Echuca Great River Race in Echuca last year. So that's why the
not a cheap piece of apparatus either. To get them fully equipped and on the water, about $10,000, I believe.
Looking about $10,000, Peter. They're a very expensive piece of equipment for any surf boat, any surf club to have, and they don't come. It's very hard to also pick up sponsors here on the mainland. Sponsors actually line up to give surf boats to surf clubs. It's a good way as far as advertising goes, and but especially down south here in Hobart, it seems very hard to pick up a good sponsor.
Well, there's Bernie. They've hit the front again in the second race of the series. The weather not quite as good as it was for the first, but the waves not as steep and dumping. As, the surf is pretty famous here at Clifton Beach for being pretty unforgiving, as we saw in that first race. It's Penguin going a little better this time. They should be expected with Somerset out of the way to be the crew most likely to press Bernie.
Yes, Ulverston have been rowing very well too. I think they'll be Penguin and Ulverston will possibly have a good race here. They'll probably battle it out for second and third. See Ulverston there. They'll be possibly coming in second place at this stage. Carlton Park would be not far behind them.
So it's Ulverston, that's the second place crew in this open boat number 2. Heading out there to the boys, 400 metre row for them. But it's Bernie who are leading at this stage. They'll head out there into the mist, the spray.
All crews got through that break quite easily. These boats, of course, have got pumps in them, little portable pumps, which gets rid of all the water which is taken over the bow as they punch their way through the surf.
Clive Thurley, who you heard before, very experienced sweep as they head out there into the fog.
Into the mist, rolling in from the south. Certainly not looking too good at the moment.
So out to the boys they go. See the
shot
sweep
there.
or actually working to help them around as well.
The sweep there, as you saw Clive, he really threw that sweep oar up over his head and swung that boat round. Boat race can be won or lost at the boys, and he's been around for many years, and he does it very well. Bernie just, as you can see the gap there, Bernie and the next crew would be Ulverston, Carlton Park that's rounding there, or Penguin rounding there. Also,
Pretty close between Ulverston and Penguin.
going to be a very interesting race for second and third. Bernie rowing well in front.
That looks like Carlton, is it?
So
Going
it
out
would
there
be
now.
Carlton going out.
Well, it could be Clifton.
It's Carlton in the familiar white hat, the red and black stripes.
That's Bernie. Well, it appears that they've got it shot to bits, as long as a similar fate doesn't
Coming into the wave
Big
area
fan,
now,
as
and
did earlier.
it's be interesting to see how these sweeps handle the conditions. As we saw in the first race, they had a few problems, but the battle's on here in earnest for second place between nearest to the camera we have Ulverston, and then we have in the red grasshopper boat the Penguin crew, who had a bad start. Actually, they looked like they started didn't start with the rest of the field there. They must have had a problem at the start, but they're certainly rowing strongly now. Clive over there looking over his shoulder just to see where the next swell is coming from, and there they go, just picking up the wave now, and they'll go down the face of this wave. Rowing onto it now. We go back to the right-hand side of the screen there. We'd have the Ulverston club, but back to Bernie.
Haven't quite taken that one right to the beach.
No, I think what happened there is the wave doubled up, and they just slipped off the back of it. But have a look at this race for second and third. There we go, Bernie. Now Clive's gone. He's hanging in there. Cross held on to the sweep oar, and I thought he was gone, but he certainly held that very well, and he's got back in on the boat.
Big seas now behind them. They've managed to get it together again, or have they?
No, he's having a few problems there. He wasn't quite ready for that. Another second wave hitting, and it's an interesting battle now for second and third.
Luckily for Bernie, those following crews not so close behind them. And they've got to the beach first. Thirlby seems to have damaged his hand a little. It's almost a dead heat between Bernie and Ulverston. Ulverston closer to your picture. They've gone sideways. And
yes.
It's given it to Penguin.
Looks like Penguin will slip through here and take out second place.
So 20 metres from the
there.
beach, and the second place is decided. Penguin holding it together to take it from Ulverston, who back to third place in the second race after finishing second behind Bernie in the first. But Bernie
looks like he's
first both times.
Actually, during the week, Clive there on the screen hanging onto his hand, he had 6 stitches inserted in one of his fingers, and he's just got that bandaged up. No doubt when he had to hang onto that sweep oar when he nearly fell out of the boat, it certainly would have aggravated it and probably split it back open again. So looks like he's in a bit of pain there. There'll be a few funny words being said, I would imagine.
I think the other members of the crew are keeping well away from him.
I don't think I'd tackle him at the moment.
But I guess the pain numbed a little bit by victory again. So Bernie have won 2 of the 3 races, so they've taken out the rubbish rid open boat. Penguin second in the second race, and Ulverston picking up third as the march past in the background has concluded. The teams lined up. Judges will be compiling the scores, and we'll soon know who has taken out the march past. And there's an extra competitor there for Somerset. The Golden Labrador, who is really enjoying things here at
basking in the sunshine.
Yes, it's out again, and I think that dog may be asleep even. So no, the flag sort of flapping him in the face every now and then to keep him awake. But we should know who has taken out the march past while the official part of the day takes place. The speech making.
It's a good shot of the Clifton Beach march past team, and they've got an all-girl march past team, so it's good to see the girls marching.
Extra points there, I think.
Yes. There's Richard Norton there from Burnie. He's a member of their A boat. Burnie marching without a banner. Unfortunately, they had it pinched at Devonport last week, which was bad news for them. That they'd had the pennant for about 40 odd years, and somehow went missing at Devonport before the march past last week.
Well, so hopefully it was just a prank and that it will be returned before.
Well, we hope so.
There's the official results of the Junior Ironman. It was Tim Price who came over second, so Burnie through Spinks first, Price second, and Rose from Ulverston picking up third place. Official results in the Junior Ironman after Dean Waldhauser took out the Senior Ironman. So Burnie have done the double. We've seen them win both boat races. Yep. They're really consolidating that points lead in the pennant competition over Ulverston.
Yeah, Ulverston will certainly have to, there's the Ulverston team there. Very strong club, Ulverston. They've got a great club up there, and no doubt their members who couldn't make it down today would certainly be sitting in the Ulverston clubhouse. And I say clubhouse, they're watching this event.
Well, they are very strong in the swimming events, as we saw from Jamie Rose there, how well he went in the swim section. They've got so many fine swimmers there to gain the points later on in the day.
They picked up a lot of members from when Low Head Surf Club finally disbanded, and they've got a lot of swimmers from Launceston, names such as Anthony Duda, who's unfortunately now has got into the army. Scott Ellingson, well known as a pool swimmer, and they've certainly got some good swimmers. Coming to the also very strong in the boats, as we've seen in the last two boat races. So they're coming up in really well, Ulverston.
So the host club, Clifton Beach, head off, and Somerset are ready to get back into action. Fine precision marching from all concerned there. The tail wagging though, perhaps not quite in tune. As we go back to the action, and let's go to the junior ski final. Just about ready to get them underway, and off they go. The surf, not too bad. It looks quite flat after they get through this initial break, and that's found two of them out.
These juniors handle these conditions. This is a straight out final. And we have Bug there from Somerset, Clifton Beach paddler there, having a few problems getting out through this quite heavy surf.
Anthony Spinks, who took out the Junior Ironman. We saw how good he is with the ski. He's in this race.
Yeah, some of these competitors are having a few problems, and but no doubt once they get out through the break, looks like it would be Bug of Somerset paddling very strongly there. Looks like he's cleared the white water and hit the green water. In fact, Bug would have a quite a good lead there. Looks either Bug or Mation. It's very hard, as I said, to pick them up. But there's a great shot of. Looks like it would be Bug of Somerset. Bright orange hat there. He'll be certainly looking for a win here, and he's putting the big ones in there as they head out past the IRB out towards the buoy.
And in the background there, looking over towards Carlton Park, where the state titles will be next weekend.
Yeah, that's held over 2 days, the state titles, and we're hoping for good weather and big surf, because it's a good beach, Carlton. And state titles there next weekend, and as I said, we're hoping for some good weather. Shot there, looks like it would be possibly Spinks of Burnie. Paddling strongly there.
So a good battle for the minor places, but looks like Bug has really stolen a march on them as they head out to the buoys for the first time.
Yes, you can see the lead there that Bug has got. He's right over on the right-hand side of the screen. He's just going around the apex buoy now, which is the second buoy. Then his nearest competitor, who will be, looks like Spinks of Burnie, just going around the first buoy. So possibly around about 60, 70 yard break there to Bug of Somerset.
Pretty tight as the main bunch go around.
There he is, just looking over his shoulder, seeing if there's where his competitors are, and also to check to see whether there's a wave coming in. Surf here quite big and dumpy, so you have to be very careful that he doesn't get caught right in the what they commonly call the graveyard, where there's only one way to go, and that's down. So still bunching up there as they go around that second buoy. Bug now, he's coming into the break, he's just going to pick up a little wave here. Going down the face of the wave, and you have to, once he gets down the bottom, you have to really keep paddling. As you can see, he's paddling to try and keep his rudder out of that white water. In fact, he's starting to go around now. He should hang on to it though. As he does, just looks over and says, "Catch me if you can." But he's got this race shot to bits. The others just coming into the break area now. And a good win there. Coming in down the bottom of your screen there. He's coming in, and he'll take the junior ski final out.
Daylight second. There's a good battle though for second place. They've both got the wave.
That'll be Mation and Mation of Somerset. In fact, no, it wasn't Mation. Looks like it would be.
No, they've both gone over. They've both gone over.
So this is going to bring the others through that were trailing. This is how the conditions can change so much in surf racing. It's and that's why it's such an interesting sport. Now this looks like it could be a battle for second and third between Clifton of Ulverston, Spinks and Mation. So it's a great battle here to take out the minor placings. Looks like it would be Mation coming across the line with the orange hat. Looks like he's finished second, and looks like it would be Spinks of Burnie in third place. Clifton of Ulverston probably finishing in fourth.
Some upturned skis coming in now, but things really changing there in the final stages. Those waves catching a few unawares, so that means that Spinks, the junior Ironman, taking third in that ski final, but victory going in the junior ski to Bug from Somerset. So Somerset first and second, with Brent Mation coming across the line behind him, and Anthony Spinks from Burnie third. So we've seen the Burnie domination broken in the junior ski as we see the chariot race underway. 3-team confrontation, and it looks like Clifton have got it, with Ulverston second and Carlton third, or is it two Clifton crews?
Like no, Penguin. Looks
Penguin,
like
rather.
Yeah, Penguin in the aqua blue hats there. Quite a popular event, the chariot race, but can be dangerous with the jockeys up so high. Normally when they fall, they come down with a crunch.
So Penguin certainly showing the way there first from Ulverston, and then third place again to the other Penguin chariot.
It shouldn't be too long now before we see the start in the ski final. senior ski final, which competitors now just like warming up.
And, well, we've got the results through. Provisional at this stage in the March Pass, and victory has gone to Bernie. So Bernie back into the winner's circle, and the man in charge of the belt for Bernie, Michael O'Geary, and he's talking with Peter Walsh.
A winner of the successful Bernie team that's just taken out the March Past, Mick O'Geary. Mick, just what sort of a club is Bernie to work with?
Bernie have been for many, many years the most competitive club in Tasmania. Our work is improving a lot more this year on patrols. They have been pretty low, but we had a few older members come back to our club this year, and they've really got things moving. But as I said, our competitive side is very, very strong and has been for years.
A proud club?
Very, very proud. We've been going for almost 30 years, I think it is now, and we're proud of our achievements. We've saved a lot of lives on our beaches over the years, not so much in the last 5 because people don't tend to go to the beach anymore. But as I said, our competitive side is very, very strong, and in state teams each year we probably make about 10 or 12 out of the state team itself.
Numbers building up all the time?
This year, yes. As I said, a couple of older members came back this year, and they went round the schools, and you know they fostered a lot of interest with the younger people in the community, and got them going. And now we've got a very, very strong junior club.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks very much. Yeah.
Fine spokesman for his sport, Michael O'Geary, and obviously a labour of love, Steve, for these surf lifesavers.
Oh yes, Michael's been around for many years. He's he's a starter in the boat area actually, Michael, and he's an ex-R&R man and rescue and resuscitation man, and a great character from the Bernie Club. At the senior ski now, ski paddlers going in for the final of the senior ski, and got a great field here, Peter. For this, we'll see some great action here. Norton there of Bernie, Clark of Penguin. He won this last week. In fact, all the carnivals this week we've had a different winner each time. So
I won't ask you to put your finger on it, but it certainly is going to be one
very
of the...
hard decision. I really wouldn't like to say who could win this, especially in these conditions. But Spicer of Devonport there, of course, he'll be very hard. Sweeney of Bernie, he won this event 2 carnivals ago at Ulverston over the long weekend in January.
There's the official results of the chariot race. Penguin, Ulverston and Penguin 2.
So a great win there to Penguin in the chariot race. Craig Mason of Somerset, he's another winner. He's won this event this year also. Very good paddler, Craig. Jeremy Norton of Bernie, another winner. Dean Wardhauser, Ken Elliott, of course. It's a crack field, and it could be anyone's race. The starter there, waiting, just trying to keep them back. Very experienced starter in Brett Norton-Smith from the Ulverston Club. Brett, an ex-board and ski champion. And he's just making sure that everyone gets an even break and no one gets any advantage.
Ken Elliott has done well in this event at the Main Nicholas Carnival before. Now, if that counts for anything, he might be a chance.
Well, I don't think it can't.
Seems to like the TV coverage, perhaps.
Oh, he does, yeah. He might even turn it on for us today again. But really a crack field here. It's going to be first one of the buoy. That's the idea of the race, is if you can get to that first can in first place, you seem to have it to get a break over your next competitors. Still holding them there. Want to give them the best possible chance of getting out through the surf.
Could be coming up very shortly, I think, the start.
Shane Clark there of Penguin in the aqua blue hat. They're away now. It's the Jets Press ski final, and what a great race this is going to be. As you can see, they're making their way out through the surf now. Looks like at this stage it could be Jeremy Norton who might have jumped them at the start. Jeremy paddling very strongly there. Be on the light blue ski. There he is there going out. Deacon Spicer next to him. Deacon, of course, just coming third in the Ironman. So now there's a big wave as they go. And this is going to be interesting, the others, to see if they can get over. And there's a couple of didn't quite make it there, Peter. So they'll be trying to get out of the break and get to green water. It would be Jeremy Norton, the familiar paddling style of Jeremy Norton, who'd be leading at this stage. Spicer in there also. Craig Sweeney of Burnie, he'd be up there with them. But what a great race, and they're going to be like this right back to the beach. It looks like it would be Spicer who drawn up now with Spicer there in the familiar green and white hat.
Just as we predicted, nothing in it.
Craig Mason up there with them also, as is last week's winner in Gary Tom Clark from Penguin. But you can see the gap there that Spicer would have, and Jeremy Norton in second place. Third place there would have Craig Mason of Somerset.
So Norton to the cans first. Look at the wolves behind him.
Yes, well, of course they have to, that's going round the apex buoy now. It's going around through the apex buoy, heading along to the third buoy. It would be Spicer who'd still be leading. And what a great race this is going to be, because the others are just sitting behind him and they're just waiting to pounce.
And waves starting to build up as well. Who will catch them? Heard a lot of names both in the junior ski and the senior ski, such as Mason. We've heard Clark's.
A lot of brothers involved.
Houses.
Yeah, they're all from, most of them are all from the northwest coast. But, yes, Masons of Somerset, as I've said, Houses of Burnie. Here we go. Now they're coming to the area where there could be some assistance coming up very shortly, and
Spicer seems to have done well.
Spicer's paddling very well here. I'm just trying to pick up that other Burnie paddle. Looks like it could be Jeremy Norton, who's still hanging there in second place. Has a quick look over his shoulder, but coming in now. And the others are, looks like Craig Mason and also Tom Clark there, Gary Clark of Penguin. But looks like it's Spicer now. Here they go. It looks like it's Spicer. Jeremy Norton has caught the wave. He's coming down the front of it. Spicer's trying to get on the wave now. He's drawn up level with Spicer. Jeremy Norton just sitting there conserving energy for the last burst, and there they go. It's aching muscles now, really tiring. It's beginning to tell. Spicer there going over the front of one. So it looks like it's Jeremy Norton. Great victory there to Jeremy Norton. Hasn't won since the first carnival of the season. It's like Jeremy Norton coming across in first place. Spicer, Craig Mason there, Gary Clark. Shane Clark coming in front of Craig Sweeney.
The Burnie paddler would have been successful in taking out
a good race there, Peter. Very good race, and
well, again, Deacon Spicer just pipped at the post. He seemed to have that one, but Norton seemed to make a little more of that last wave.
Yeah, he had the burst. He had a bit of a breather, not much of a breather, of course, but he had a breather there as he came down that wave, and just had that extra energy at the finish.
So Norton takes out the open ski final from Deacon Spicer, with Craig Mason coming across the line third. Here's our winner with Peter Walsh.
Well done, Jeremy. Smooth sailing all the way, was it?
It was a bit hard at the back there, but luckily we got a few waves on the way home. Made it a bit easier.
You handled the waves very well. Bit of professionalism in that outlook as far as you're concerned?
We do a lot of work in the surf. Luckily, over the past few weeks up in Burnie, we've been getting a lot of good surfs and been doing a lot of practice in it.
I understand that's one of the most competitive races that's been on the calendar throughout the last few months. So you're sharing it around the winner?
It's been pretty up and down this season. I think now I've won two. I'm the only one that's won two races. All the others have gone around all the other paddlers. It's been really good.
In a race as such, is it just right from the word go as hard as you can? Are there tactics involved?
Well, particularly when it's like this, you've got to get through the surf as quickly as possible. So, as you say, it's flat out right off the start. Tend to ease back a bit out around the break, and then coming in through the break again, you've got to make sure you pick up that last wave if you can.
And that's what you did today.
Yeah, I'll keep trying, see if we can get there.
Well done.
Thanks a lot.
Things seem to go pretty much to plan for Jeremy Norton there. Out quickly, that little bit of an ease, and then picking up the waves to come through and take it from Deacon Spicer and Craig Nation. That's the placings in the Jet Express Ski Final, 1986 Main Nicholas Surf Classic here at Clifton Beach. So Bernie back into the winner's circle again.
Yeah, Bernie Club having a great day here at this carnival today. They've certainly been up at #1 position in most events. It's going to have to be up to the other clubs to just see how if they can peak Bernie back, but they're certainly going to have their hands full today with this strong Bernie contingent. Of course, brought the full team down, planning, and so also planning for, of course, next week.
There's the state titles next week, and of course places in the Tasmanian team to go to Moana in South Australia for the national titles. The squad at 22 to be pruned down to 15 after today's carnival.
Yes, that's right, Peter. This is the final carnival before the state team is picked tonight. Actually, the state team selectors will sit down and prune it from 22-man squad back to a team of 15 to represent Tasmania at Moana. March 20th, 21st, 22nd. And no doubt they'll be picking a very strong team. I would imagine now that possibly the only members who would know that probably being picked would be possibly the Bernie boat crew. Even that up to today was a toss-up, but that unlucky accident to Jim Woodhouse, the sweep of Somerset, I would say, has possibly earned Bernie the state team boat crew. But it's going to be interesting to see who the squad, the selectors pick as the squad. But I'm sure they'll perform very well as they normally do.
Well, there's a new event on the surf life-saving calendar, and that's the open board rescue. It's already proving very popular with the competitors. We'll just explain that one to you as they are on the beach just about ready to go in the open board rescue. They head off, and it's the swim league first.
Yes, well, this is a new event, as you've just said, Peter. It's a new event. They have a open board rescue and a female board rescue. The idea of it actually came from the Junior Association. They have a swimmer, as you can see, going out. There's two in a team. They have a swimmer who goes out, swims to the swimming buoys, puts his hand in the air in a rescue situation, and then you'll see the board paddler paddle out, pick him up, and then the two of them paddle the board back to the beach. We've seen some great sterling efforts in this event during the year with Sweeney and Price of Bernie, and also Parry and Waldhauser of Bernie. They've had some great battles, and it's going to be interesting to see how they go this week.
So some surf for them to get through. See who gets out there to the boys first and raises the hand to set the other half of the competition into action, to get out there on the board, to pick up the swimmer who hypothetically is in trouble and bring them back to the beach. Does this bear more resemblance to actual rescue situations than some of the other events in carnivals, which perhaps say even surf boats aren't used in actual rescue situations?
Yeah, sure. This event is like a real rescue situation where they do a board rescue. Of course, they don't have to help the patient like in a rescue. They'd have to help the patient under the board, but in this case the patient just gets on as quick as he can and comes out. But a number of, all the events have got something to do with rescue work. The other surf skis have a position in rescue work, as do the surf boats.
Well, it looks like Waldhauser may have done best in the swim. The Waldhauser brothers, Dean with The other Dean Parry.
Dean
yes.
Parry, that's right, Dean Parry and Dean Waldhausen. Looks like Waldhausen will be leading at this stage. In fact, no, it's Stephen Crocker who would have got there first.
So it's Ulverston
Stephen
into the
Crocker,
water
and
first.
there's Viney of Ulverston. Now he's the board rescuer. You'll see him go out. The other's just finishing now. Stephen Crocker, the swimmer for Ulverston, very, very strong, and has been an excellent swimmer. Had an unfortunate accident down here last year at Clifton when he was at an IRB training school, and unfortunately the IRB was swept onto his leg, and he spent about 2 weeks in hospital, and his knee is just starting to come right now. Had to have the ligaments fixed and the cartilage. But, he's slowly and surely coming back right, but as I said, excellent surf swim there. You can see Viney there of Ulverston trying to get out through this very turbulent surf. No doubt he'll still have a few waves to negotiate before he gets to clear water.
Probably wouldn't have, a lot of those young fellows wouldn't have seen conditions like this.
Viney there, still going out. That'll be about coming up now. You'll see him pick up his patient. Patience says jump on. He goes to the front of the board. Crocker of Ulverston jumps, his swimmer jumps on the back. And it'll be interesting. I haven't seen this rescue in big surf either, so it's going to be interesting to see how they handle the surf on the way back in with 2 people on the board.
Well, they nearly collected their opposition who were going up to the boys. Missed them narrowly. So they tend to lie down on the board, both of them, and paddle rather than both kneeling. Yeah, well, the boards aren't designed, it would be virtually impossible for them both to kneel on the board. And also it requires a different type of balance if you've only got the one board rider. Pretty big seas out there near the buoys. As more patients are taken on board. Well, there goes, looks like Waldhausen and Parry who have caught the whale. They seem to be handling that okay. It's interesting to see. Looks like it would be Waldhausen and Parry and Price and Sweeney. Well, it's developed into the battle. They've gone marginally ahead, perhaps. No, it's the Ulverston crew edging. It's developed into another battle of the Burnie club, because this is the way it's been most of the year between these two pairs. Looks like it would be Waldhausen and Parry who are up out of the water first. They have to run up the beach and across the line. Waldhausen nearly stumbles there, but he's picked himself back up again. And a good win there to Waldhausen and Parry of Burnie. Price and Sweeney of Burnie would have been second in that event. So they've really left Viney and Crocker behind there. Yes, they expecting to see them on that same wave, but yeah, I don't know what happened there. One would have thought they would have been on the same wave, but looks like they might have slipped off the back of it. The other clubs coming in there, Devonport, Carlton Park. They seem to handle it okay. That's the open board rescue. That event also in national championships now? No, it hasn't been included in the national championships as yet, but I'm sure it will be in the not too distant future. You can see Carlton Park running out of the water. David Russell Green there in the front of the board and Don Marsh in the rear. They'll be coming across there in 4th place. David Russell Green from Carlton doesn't know the holes in the Clifton beach, obviously. He found one there. No, he should have been... I would have thought he would have been down here early this morning checking the conditions before that race, but he must have found one that he never found this morning. Used to holes in hockey fields, perhaps a little more than in the surf. Yeah, that's right, Peter. He's a great hockey player and a good surf lifesaver as well. He represented the state in hockey, but let's hear from our 2 winners in the open board rescue, the 2 Deans. They're with Peter Walsh.
Waldhausen and Dean Parry. It's pretty cool out there, fellas. Tell us a bit about the surf ski, a new event.
She's a great race. We've been doing this for a while as nippers. It's been around as an event there, and they've only introduced it into senior surf lifesaving this year because of the exclusion of longboard paddling. So it's great fun, especially in a surf like this.
You'd agree, Dean?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a really hard event. we're doing swims out to the cans. Well, when he gets out of the cans, he puts his hand up, and then the board paddler goes out and rescues the swimmer, and then back to the beach. It's the first one back.
What's the toughest part?
Coming back on a big wave like that, if I don't slide back, Dean goes for a bit of a tube ride by himself.
Well done, fellas. It looked good.
Right, thanks a lot.
Waldhauser and Parry, Bernie, who have taken out the overboard rescue, and I think that's going to be an event on the surf life-saving calendar that is looked forward to both by competitors, as you heard, and spectators.
It's a good event, Peter. As I've said, it's only the first time I've had it this year, and it's great to see a new event like that taking off so well and becoming as popular as it has.
So ready to go in the third in the boat races.
Clifton Beach there and their DJ Mitsubishi boat. Clifton been up and down in boat events. They're the only club now that don't have a fiberglass surf boat. No doubt they'll be doing a lot of fundraising over the winter months to have one purchased by next year. Michael O'Geary, of course, straight out of his March Past costume, on with the wetsuit, and starting this third race for the A boats. Third and final race for the A boats, actually. So
Bernie looking to make a clean sweep here.
Well, unless something drastically happens, we saw them earlier in the deal-over relay they snapped their sweep oar, but they brought a spare one down with them. The sweep oar, of course, is a long one at the rear of the boat, which the sweep oarsman steers the boat with, and some people might think he's got an easy job, but my word, it's just as hard as rowing.
Well, the third race is underway. Open boat, and Bernie already through the first wave in first place.
Clifton Beach through there also. Carlton Park and Ulverston have dropped back slightly. Some big seas coming up here. It's going to be interesting. You'll probably see that some of the boats will stop rowing. It's not because they're scared of going over it. It's just that they want to get it as least amount of water in the boat as possible, because water does weigh quite heavy.
And I think there's a bit of water there in the Bernie boat. They've just held back a bit on that wave, and it's allowed the boats further down the beach to get out a little bit from them. It's Penguin that seem to be leading at this stage by about a boat length from Clifton, and then Penguin, rather Bernie. So there they are. You see that there's about a boat length between first, second and third there.
Some big seas here, as you can see, and all boats now in clear water. And now it's a 400-yard row, or 400-metre row out to their buoy, and 400 metres back. And it's going to be a hard slog in these conditions, because getting out through the break will certainly take a lot of energy out of them.
The Penguin do very well. Back
yes.
Here we've got Carlton.
Yeah, good shot there of Penguin and Carlton going out. All boats in clear water. Clifton Beach there, rowing very well. Clifton Beach. They got out through that break very well, and they'll probably be running in second place now.
So we thought it might be a formality as far as the yellow boat of Bernie is concerned. They're really having it thrown at them, though they have certainly taken back second and are now challenging Penguin for first place. So the two Northwest Coast crews battling it out.
Yes, they would have copped a lot of water in their boat as they went out. That would be the reason for them slowing down. But that pump's been working overtime, and they've cleared the water out of the boat, and they'll certainly win this race. As we've said, unfortunate to Somerset, but that's the way it goes. Penguin on top of the screen there, rowing in second place. Penguin have a very good junior crew, Peter. Last year they competed in the national titles. Terry Owens took them across and really looked after the young boys, and they finished in the semi-finals along with Somerset. And this year they've been rowing in reserve boats, in the reserve boat, and have been winning it. So they'd have to be a good chance for a medal at the Australian titles in the junior boat division.
So plenty of good stock depth in the clubs for the future.
Yeah, they're big boys too, and it's a matter of having to hang on to them, and you know, Penguin will be back up there in a surf boat rowing force.
Well, they're certainly not giving away too much in this third race to Bernie. It will be interesting who gets to the cans first, with Clifton there in third place as you see the boys coming into view now.
Yeah, they've certainly opened up the gap. They would be leading. Oh no, they're Penguin going round first. You can see Penguin going round.
Fooled by the angle, just a touch there. It's a bit deceptive, yes. It's not much between them. You have to give it to Penguin.
Penguin probably about a half a boat length in front of Bernie at this stage. Clifton Beach just hitting their can now, just got out of the picture. We come back onto the red grasshopper boat of Penguin, and there's Bernie. They'll be bending their backs now, and they'll be trying to get in to the wave area to get some assistance. And we should see some frills and spills as we had done in the earlier races, but there's a good shot of the Penguin boat crew in the red grasshopper boat, Terry Owens, the sweep. They seem to have their boat running very well at this stage. There's Bernie and Clifton Beach in behind them.
About 300 metres to go, so a long way from the finish yet, but Penguin rowing very strongly. Certainly a tough assignment for these crews. 3 races, and it's as if the boat is the only event they're involved with either. Yes, well,
the reason for the rising standard of boat rowing in Tasmania is because they do have 3 races, and with the Delob, in actual fact, they have the Delob relay. They actually have 4 races. Before, up to about 5 years ago, they used to have 1 race. They used to have heats and a straight-out final, because when they got to the mainland to compete at the national titles, it's nothing for them to have to row 8 times in a day with the number of heats they have, and then quarter-finals and semi-finals and repecharges, and they were found lacking, and that's the reason that we have the 3 races for them.
So it's Penguin battling that out with Bernie. They seem to have opened up about a boat length lead now as they get closer to the beach, about 100 metres away from the finish.
They certainly have. Penguin have really rode the race of their life here, and they could cause a major upset here in this the final race. As you can see, they'd have probably about a 1.5 to 2 boat length lead. Terry Owens, a sweep of Penguin there, urging his crew on. He'd really want to win this one. Terry standing up the back. Wayne Manson rowing in the bow there, and that's catching a small little ripple there. That the wave could double up, so they're going to have to keep rowing. You see the nose digging in there in that other wave. In fact, it just went under, and they've picked it up again now. Still having a few problems, but they're over it now, and they're certainly going to come home easy winners, which is a great turn up.
And they're pretty happy about it.
Boys, and no doubt they'll be wrapped, because they just defeated the possible state champions last year, and also again this year. And you can see Bernie coming across. There's Clifton, Ulverston coming in there.
Ulverston have rode through Clifton on the way to the beach. Yes, just a touch, but they'll come over in third place, as Clifton also having trouble with that final wave. So Ulverston are finishing with places each time.
They've got a boat full of water. Looks like they've got someone...
see the water pouring out there as the pumps work overtime.
Yeah.
I don't think Clifton like getting to the beach without a boat full of water. They've done it in every race so far.
They've got a habit of turning the boat upside down. In fact, at one stage we thought that the sponsor would have been better off putting his name on the bottom of the boat, but they're enjoying it. They'll be having a great time out there.
Well, it's a good row from them anyway, so they're into 4th place.
Carlton Park probably struck a few problems. I don't know whether we can get on or not, but they have a boat full of water and are in all sorts of problems out in the break. But picture there of the very happy Penguin boys. No doubt they'll have a good time tonight.
Yes, they're making themselves heard already. Penguin first from Bernie. winner of the first 2 races, to take out the series. 2-1 from Penguin, with Ulverston in the placings on each occasion. They came across 3rd in the final race in the open boat. A good series of races in just about all conditions.
Yes.
So good performance and some variety there with Penguin getting up in the 3rd race. And you heard Steve talking about Wayne Manson. What a pleasure it is to see him back surf life saving, and he's talking with Peter Walsh.
Well, this time 12 months ago, Wayne, you were convalescing in bed. A bit of a different feeling this afternoon.
Very much so, Peter, yes. It was a bit warmer in hospital too.
Well, you've been injured. What was the extent of your injury? And you didn't look too good when you got out of the boat today either.
Just multiple fractures right through the left part of my body and face, wrist and ankle, right through.
Now, you started with the Penguin boat in the boat itself. Is this a disadvantage?
Yes, because you're not getting in with the rest of the crew, so the crew's a little bit unbalanced to start off with. But the other crews have allowed it for me to start in the boat, which is the only reason I can row.
A surprise to knock off the favourites, Bernie?
Not really. We've set our aim on the Australian titles, and we're coming together very well.
Tasmanian crews have been ever so close to taking out a national title. Will this year be the one?
I'd say we'd have 3 of the best crews in the top 10 in Australia, and in surf, as you can see, the top crews usually make it through to the final, and I think we've got 3 of them.
Good to have tough competition on the local scene to bring the best out in everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Like mainland crews wonder how we can train over in the cold weather, but having 3 good crews and the other crews improving all the time, that's made it very, very good.
A real team effort. Well done.
Yes, no, very, very good. It's, they've all pulled together and backed me right to the hilt.
We'll let you get back and celebrate.
Thanks very much, Per. Thank you.
And warm up too. Just multiple fractures, he said.
Yeah, just multiple fractures. I went in to see him in hospital, and he certainly couldn't talk, and he was in bad shape there for a while, but good to see him back. He's a top guy, Wayne, and from a good club too, Penguin.
So that's good to see them getting up in that final race. Certainly
Carlton
provided
Park.
us with plenty today, and this Carlton, who did have plenty of water in.
Yes, they got swamped rather badly actually, and just getting all the other club members, giving them a hand to get the water out.
So everybody getting involved from different clubs. Really is a very uniting sport, surf life saving, and when the boys get together.
Yeah, it's good. It's
and
a great.
girls, of course.
Of course. Well, the females are in there now too, Peter, and they've become involved in it in all sorts of surf life saving work, from rescue right through to IRB training, what have you, and girls have certainly made an impact in surf life saving since I was admitted 4 or 5 years ago.
And in fact, we have some girls competing in this event. 1 to be exact. Mixing it with the boys. Surf swim.
This would be the junior surf and teams race. I would mention a very interesting race here, because as we've just said, a lot of these swimmers would be vying for state team selection. You can see the swimmers making their way out there through the break. They'll have a few problems trying to get through the surf. They'll be diving underneath the waves and hanging on to the bottom and pushing up. It can take quite a lot out of you, going under and holding your breath and coming up. It's a matter of swimming with your head out of the water most of the way.
Bernie, who have the lead.
And reserve boat number 3 to the marking area. Reserve boat number 3.
See them now, they're all grouping up, trying to pick up some of the leaders. It looks like there's a Clifton Beach swimmer there.
Group of Clifton Beach swimmers there, and they may have taken the lead back. Yes, they look like they're 1, 2, 3. That wave could change things somewhat.
The final of the female beach sprint.
Yes, looks like it's Ian McGregor who's really has to got a point to prove here. Interrupted in his surf life-saving early in the season due to his swimming commitments. Of course, he had a great pool season, and he's involved with the Clifton Club and has to win here today, and also have a good win, or close second anyway, in the senior surf race to have a chance of getting in the state team.
Fortunately, Ian can't compete in the state titles next week because he's in Adelaide, not for surf life-saving, but for pool swimming, the Australian Championships. So you'll see on ABC Sport.
Yeah, a lot of the swimmers, you know, as on the mainland, you have Rob Woodhouse and Greg Fasala. They combine pool swimming with surf life-saving, and it gives them. They do help each other, complement each other, both pool swimming and surf. Surf, of course, gives them a lot of strength. But you can see the distance that Ian McGregor has opened up here now as he rounds that last buoy. He's about 20 yards in front at this stage.
McGregor holds the pool record over 100 metres for butterfly, over 50 for freestyle. I don't know how he is in backstroke. Does a few strokes there to see how far his opposition is away. And he knows
he'll be looking
got
for a wave here. He's going to crack a wave, and a great bit of surfing there by Ian McGregor. He's only in his second season of surf life-saving, and that was good, the way he caught that wave. He won a scholarship from the host club of today, Clifton Beach, and he went to North Cronulla over the Australia Day long weekend. It was coached by some of the top surf swimmers there, and he certainly picked up a lot of hits. Clifton Beach filling second and third too. Can't quite pick the other swimmer up, but it looks like it could be Matthew Watton of Clifton. Spinks of Bernie in there also.
But Ian McGregor up on his feet, and he could just about crawl from there and take it out.
Yeah, great win for Ian. He won the junior. Won the actual last week at Devonport. He won the senior surf race, and then came second in the junior surf race. He was bumped off by a swimmer from Devonport, Adrian Triffett.
So Ian McGregor across the line. That's a fine performance, and he'll be looking for a repeat of that in the senior swim a bit later on.
Clifton Beach swimmer coming out, that could be Matthew Watton. I'm not quite sure at the moment, but it's definitely Clifton Beach. So Clifton Beach filling first and second in junior surf race.
So Clifton will try for first, second and third, but they won't get it.
So that would be Jamie Rose of Ulverston.
Yes, he's performed well in the surf again, Rose. But unfortunately third again, as he did in the junior Ironman.
So Jamie Rose going across the line. It's another Clifton Beach swimmer coming out of the water there. So Clifton Beach first and second and fourth, with Ulverston third. Gives his teammate a pat on the head, saying well done.
The Clifton competitor in there, so perhaps the power in surf swimming may be swinging from Ulverston south.
Well, Clifton been very strong in swimming. They had a lean period because John Whitehouse, of course, an excellent surf swimmer. David Pitchford. There's been a lot of good surf swimmers from the south. It's only been in the last couple of, or 3 or 4 years that the northerners have picked up in their swimming.
So we've seen the full facet of surf life-saving events on the beach, in craft and surf swimming, of course, and you'll be able to see it live on ABC television. The cream of Australian competitors in mid-March at the National Championships from Moana in South Australia, and if you'd like to see some in the flesh,